if I just type in Russell Brand, this is crazy. And there's Obama and a drone and some I don't really care. This is why they censored Trump. All right, let's take a look. I already feel a brain hemorrhage coming on, but let's do it, shall we? Oh yeah, YouTube's doing 2 unskippable ads now. And Russell Brand's a sellout and won't let me skip them. All right, give it to me, Russ.
Whether it's the coronavirus pandemic or the Ukraine war, certain patterns are emerging. Is it possible that you have new stories but same old bullshit?
When my brain finally goes, it's gonna be right here on this side. I wanna die already.
Bullshit. Hello there, you 5.8 million awakening wonders. Well done overcoming the many challenges you've had to overcome in your life. Well done not being crushed. Well done staying discerning. Well done staying true to the person that you actually are. Well done continuing to awaken with me to get... I mean, what does this mean?
Up yours, woke moralists! Give me your money, by the way.
As a sign. Is that going to catch on? Could that ever catch on? If you've not subscribed yet, subscribe right now. Turn on the notification bell and sign up to my mailing list. I'll show you how to do that at the end of the video. And if this is the first video you've watched with us, thank you for being on this voyage. Thank you for being on this journey. I've had an amazing
I want to get off the train.
conversation with Matt Taibbi, a very respected journalist of the left. Wait, if you're watching this and you happen to be on the right, and remember, I don't care where you think you are on that spectrum. If you're a person who's interested in saving the world, if you're a person who's interested in changing the world and awakening individually, then we are on the same side. I'm sure there's loads of things we see differently from one another. It doesn't matter. You want to be free and you want to be left alone. I want to be free and I want to be left alone.
I would like it if the British would leave me alone, yes.
The only way we're going to achieve that is together. Time to put aside the petty disputes. Time to move in unity towards a better world. I know we can do it. You're going to love this conversation with Matt because we start to...
Oh my god. This is too fast. It's too fast and there's nothing happening yet. Oh no.
Point out the various similarities that seem to emerge when reporting on crisis news. Almost like there's a crisis, not generated, let's just say they occur, these crises, wars, pandemics, other forms of crisis. Although in American history, it is known that, for example, in Latin and Central America, shocks and various crises were somewhat induced in order to bring about regime change. I'm not saying that's happening on a global scale right now.
Okay, so first off, crises happen. Yeah. That's part of life. Sometimes these crises are brought on by nation states interacting with each other. Yeah, that's part of life. The United States has engaged in regime change across the world, especially Latin America. Yeah, every major world superpower has done that to maintain them being a major world superpower. The United States just happens to be the one in existence at the moment. Every other one that has existed historically has also participated in this. That's just kind of the nature of power.
But you can see certain similarities. When the Ukraine war happened, and when coronavirus happened, a few things I noticed were similar. One, it's difficult to speak out against the narrative that the mainstream media want you to speak out.
I have a feeling you did it anyway though, Russ, so...
about. Two, there's a sense of heightened fear and panic.
Plenty of people fucking spoke out against whatever the mainstream media narrative was on COVID. What are you talking about? We've been dealing with this for like the last several years. They won't fucking shut up about all of this bullshit they believe about COVID. Oh, the vaccine's gonna cause you to mutate. Oh, it's not tested. I can't fucking throw a stone or go on anywhere on the internet without fucking seeing this bullshit. As for Ukraine, what mainstream media narrative will he talk about it? I'm not gonna watch another Russell Brand video to get an answer. If he doesn't say it here, we'll never know.
Fear and panic. The mainstream media pursue a very...
Fear and panic, yeah, people are gonna be afraid during a pandemic. I didn't care. I wasn't scared of Ukraine and Russia, but whatever.
Very particular line. And here's the weirdest thing of all. Certain very powerful interests profit from those situations. Now, let me tell you, I am not...
Powerful interests will profit from every situation. That's the nature of profit. It's not a conspiracy. You're just describing how things are in the modern world.
Not interested in conspiracy theories. I'm interested in conspiracy facts. That's why we only talk to brilliant journalists. That's why we only use reliable sources.
What a quote.
I'm not interested in conspiracy theories. I'm interested in conspiracy facts.
That's beautiful. How many COVID shots you got off your butt, brother? No. The COVID shots are in the arm. But I've got several other shots up my butt. You're confusing the two. I do those as well, but that's more of like a weekend thing.
We only talk to brilliant journalists. That's why we only use reliable sources. That's why we've got a great team here of people that are only interested in conveying the truth as we understand it.
Oh boy. Unironically though, Russell Brand is a great argument against drugs.
We believe you deserve transparency. We believe you can take transparency.
All right.
In this conversation with Matt Taibbi, we talk about the coronavirus pandemic and the Ukraine war and the similarities in reporting. You probably see the situation different from me. We're not all the same. We've had different lives. We've got different traumas, different experiences, and different things to offer. Have a look, though, and stay to the end of this conversation, because I think you're going to find it thrilling and exciting. Stay to the end.
I have doubts. Prediction here. Similarities in reporting. I'm willing to bet it's going to be stuff like the same reporters talked about this. They talked about breaking news. That's kind of strange. Oh, they talked about a major crisis that's affecting the lives of millions of people. Oh, and it's like, yeah, it's a major crisis affecting the lives of millions of people. There's got to be some similarities in how the lives are affected. Let's hear what he says.
Constant to how each of these crises roll out.
Okay.
They go in stages every time. There's an initial period where it's total certainty, and if you deviate even, a micromillimeter from the consensus, you are denounced as a Putinite or
oh, that's interesting.
A hater, a right-wing fanaticist, whatever it is. Right-wing has become the catch-all for just...
Oh, God. Did Russell Brand say this guy was a left-wing journalist? I'm not getting those vibes.
Matt Taibbi, a very respected journalist of the left.
Interesting that the first thing he decries is being called a Putinist.
A hater, a right-wing fanaticist, whatever it is. Right-wing has become the catch-all for just somebody who thinks differently, which is...
So he's like Tim Pool. You sent me the Twitter of the guy. Good, I was curious about this. Okay, from this, this is from this guy's Twitter. Broadcaster Jackson Hinkle has been censored by Twitch, Venmo, PayPal, and YouTube over Ukraine views. The belief that we should all be pro-censorship about the internet is a commonplace thing now, he says. And it scares the shit out of me. Good, based, fuck Jackson Hinkle. Get him out of here! On the one hand, I could understand, not liking it, but then you listen to him, like, talk and debate people. He had a conversation with Sam Cedar, I believe. I'm perfectly fine with this guy, like, getting cut out from everything. I don't say that very often. This isn't like some rando. What else does Matt Taibbi say? Interesting, he's defending, like, Russian assets. Is YouTube going to ban all discussions about treatments certain doctors agree with? And it's in reference to Brett Weinstein.
You've gotten it, I've gotten it, everybody's gotten it now, which is so strange because I don't have any views that I would consider right-wing.
No, we're just a couple of cartoon rabbits that just want to drum.
Exactly. But yeah, no, it's scary, and the conformity aspect of it is really disturbing. I think that the thing that's really troubling for me as a reporter is the way that each of these...
I'm sorry, this guy fucking lived in Russia? Oh boy. He began as a freelance reporter working in the former Soviet Union, including a period in Uzbekistan, from where he was deported for criticizing President Islam Karimov. He later worked as a sports journalist, played professional baseball in Uzbekistan and Russia, as well as professional basketball in Mongolia. In 1997, he moved back to Russia to edit the tabloid Living Here. Well, that's interesting. I would have opened with that if you're going to decry people for calling you, pro-Putin.
Crises, though completely distinct.
Also, like, the way he talks, the cadence of his voice makes it sound like he's full of shit. Just a feeling. That's just a vibe I'm getting. He's not passing the vibe check.
In many cases, having nothing whatsoever to do with one another. There's an increasing tendency to link all of them which makes it impossible to report on the nuances because...
Sorry, living in Russia isn't inherently bad. You mean bad? Yes, but it's enough in light of everything else he's saying to make me a little suspicious and have another grain of salt. It's not enough to write him off, but when you look at the totality of everything, it's just enough to like little alarm bells are going off. Let's hear if he actually says anything that's like really crazy. I have doubts we're gonna get that because it's a Russell Brand video.
Tendency to link all of them, which makes it impossible to report on the nuances, because when you report on nuance, what you're accused of is being part of the big evil matrix, right? So just to take an example.
See, that sounds insane right there.
You know, the Ukraine story is complex. There's a lot of stuff going on there. There are facts that are, you know, there are a few facts that are adverse to Ukraine there. I mean, they do have some elements within the armed forces that are a little scary. You know, Freedom House rated that country a 39 out of 100 on the democracy score. They are a transitional regime. They've had a record of imprisoning people who disagree politically.
Okay, so yes, and yes, but considering the light of an unprovoked invasion by Russia, I think that's kind of the bigger picture at the moment. Yes, there are a lot of awful, weird things going on in Ukraine. That's not good. It's not really as much of a democracy as we'd like. There's plenty of corruption. Yes, the Azov Battalion is real, but all of that is kind of pales in comparison to Russia fucking invading a sovereign nation. It's kind of a big deal. Just saying. I don't know about you, but like, I don't like warmongers.
Russia's not better, but Ukraine has issues, right? But we can't report on that stuff now, because if you talk about that, or you mention the Azov Battalion, or you mention things that went on in the Donbass that might have inspired some of the Russians, at least, to think in a certain way about Ukraine.
Now it the way that last sentence there made it seem kind of that's a little sus. Up until that point, I had agreed, but
that might have inspired some of the Russians, at least, to...
And you look at his facial expression as he's saying that. It's kind of, yeah, that's kind of weaselly.
To think in a certain way about Ukraine, then you're part of this overall matrix of autocracy that is trying to undermine all that is right and decent in the world. Whereas, you know, 20 years ago, you would have just been reporting. You would have said, well, this is true, this is true, this is true. And that's also true. You know, like, I don't care. I mean, it's not my job to care about what it all adds up to. But that's how all of these crises have been reported. The pandemic was the same way. We weren't allowed to touch certain things. And that didn't work out very well either. So I think that's the big danger.
I don't know. Can you imagine, like, after 9/11, I start writing stories talking about, you know, some of these victims here in the 9/11, they weren't exactly good people. You know, over 2,000 people died in 9/11. You know, some of them were probably rapists. Did you think about that? No, of course 9/11's bad, but I'm just saying, you know, when you think about it, you know, some of these Al-Qaeda people who hijacked the planes might, you can kind of understand why they might hate the degeneracy of America.
Why is it so paternal? Why? Why has it changed to a relationship with the media, with the state, with big business?
That was sarcasm, by the way. The point is, pointing out stuff like that in the broader context of what's going on is kind of sus, kind of sussy. You're a sussy baka, Mr. Matt Taibbi. It's like, why do you feel the need to focus on some of these things and say it in such a way that almost seems like you're lending credence to the people who are, you know, the bigger bad guys here?
Business where the assumption is idiocy. The assumption is that people are stupid, they can't handle complex information. If you start telling them that, look, it's complicated in Ukraine because of NATO's actions, because of resources, because there are elements in the Ukraine armed forces, because of American expansionism, because of our own history, like, that somehow that's, people can't handle it. Or with, the coronavirus pandemic,
I'll say there's a way you can even address this stuff like fairly. I don't think people like him are capable of doing it fairly. That's the bigger issue here.
A good faith relationship with government, it seems to me, would be possible if they weren't sort of ultimately owned by corporate interests, because I would be down for people saying, look, at the beginning we thought this, but now we've realized that's not true, so we're amending and adjusting to this. But it was a highly politicized situation, that pandemic. I think this is from something you wrote. When Trump was president, Molnupiravir, or whatever it's called, was bad and dangerous science, an evil twin to hydroxychloroquine. Now it's a pharmaceutical superhero coming to the rescue. Now, I suppose their counter-argument would be, oh, the science has changed, we've got better research.
What? I'm sorry.
And adjusting to this, but it was a highly politicized situation, that pandemic. I think this is from something you wrote. When Trump was president, Molnupiravir, or whatever it's called, was bad and dangerous science, an evil twin to hydroxychloroquine. Now it's a pharmaceutical superhero coming to the rescue. Now, I suppose their counter-argument would be, oh, the science has changed.
I don't understand what the fuck he just said. Is it because he's British? Is this like the punishment that the British Empire is sending me? Is this King George beyond the grave attacking me, trying to give me a brain hemorrhage? Filter through Russell Brand. I can't understand shit. Oh my god. Natsuki, I don't want to read this shit. What is a woman? A movie that should be reviewed more, for one thing. Matt Walsh pranks the pants off of America's silliest intellectuals, and the sad thing is, it wasn't hard at all. Oh, Christ almighty. Keep reading with a 7-day free trial. Well, fuck that. I ain't subscribing to your Substack. Fuck you. If anyone wants to pirate it for me, don't do that, because according to the YouTube and Twitch terms of service, I cannot promote these things. I cannot promote illegal activities. That is a bannable offense. Join my Discord today. My conclusion is he isn't a leftist. I think we can derive that conclusion. As I was saying, it sounds like Russell Brand was reading from something from this guy complaining about, oh, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine are evil, but now it's still a pharmaceutical company saving the day. The issue wasn't ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine were made by pharmaceutical companies. The issue is they were fucking bogus treatments that didn't actually work to fix COVID, because both of them were anti-parasites and COVID was a virus. Fucking dipshit dumbasses. Anyway, let's move on.
It was partisan political biases.
Yes.
In this instance, bypassed and overturned the basic science, the basic facts of the matter. Is that
weird?
True,
yeah,
Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. And the notion that the great unwashed media audience can't handle source material has become increasingly prevalent. And you see that in things like the reporting on
don't know
QAnon.
What he's talking about.
All right, so Q allegedly came back a few weeks ago.
I'm sorry. Look at the way
stories about it.
Look at the way he's smiling as he's talking. He's like taking such enjoyment out of this.
The new trend is we don't show you the thing because we think you can't handle it. So we'll talk about it. We'll call up professors who will give you comments about what you're supposed to think, but we're not going to link to the actual thing because you may be radicalized by it.
If Q's posting on 4chan, it's probably a good idea not to post to it. Not like for a radicalizing thing, but just so you don't... It's probably a good idea people don't go to 4chan, let's be honest. That's probably good for society in every conceivable way.
Or, we don't want to show you pictures of what Donald Trump actually said. We don't want any video of him actually speaking or against.
What the fuck is he talking about? You can find like literally all of this on the internet. Mainstream media shows Donald Trump speaking all the time. I don't know. Even recently, he was talking at like his, Mar-a-Lago when the Saudi people were there for some golf tournament. Oh wait, no, he's referring to when they cut him during 2016 campaign. They paid his speech in entirety. Yeah, he's referring to when he was talking about the election fraud stuff and they cut him. And the reason for that was because they didn't want to be held legally responsible for his fucking lies. That's why they kept cutting him. Idiot.
him actually speaking, or again, somebody like Steve Bannon or Alex Jones or any of these people, because I guess because they think people are going to be radicalized by the sight of them, when in fact, like, I think the history of Trump going.
Alex Jones was just now ordered to pay a verdict of $449 million as a result of the civil suit against him. Sometimes when we don't show people on media, it's because they genuinely don't have anything worth listening to. Sometimes they do it because they don't want to be held responsible for amplifying someone's lies, and they want to show that they're making a good faith effort to stop it and to have some actual factual reporting, which is, Russell Brand said he did that, but clearly not. This might be a crazy thing to say. Maybe don't lie. And if you are going to lie, don't do it like Alex Jones.
Going back to 2016, is that his best friend has been the media's attempt to contextualize him. The more negative attention he got from the media, the better he did. The more he personally spoke, the worse he did. And I think some of this comes from a misunderstanding.
I don't think so, no.
Understanding of how audiences think. Like, audiences don't like to be talked about.
Like, maybe that was applicable in 2016, but that's 6 years ago now. Times have changed.
Some of this comes from a misunderstanding of how audiences think. Like, audiences don't like to be talked down to. They like to be treated like grown, don't you think? I mean, they want to be told everything, and they think they can handle it. And if you treat them like babies.
Except considering you just talked about Steve Bannon and Alex Jones, the whole tell everything includes made up bullshit. Don't talk down to me. Talk to me like I'm an adult. Tell me everything, including made up bullshit. That's literally defamation that puts some of them, that winds up with some of them having court judgments in the millions of dollars put against them because they're so factually wrong. They literally ruin the lives of the people they're talking about. Yeah, give that to us.
Do you think you can trust the mainstream media or your own lying eyes? Let me know in the comments below. And if you get a reply there from someone going, send me a text,
They didn't even talk about Trump being censored, which is what they had in the title. Russell Brand, you fucking fraud.
Not me. I don't want your money. I don't want anything from you. Actually, I do want something from you. I want you to subscribe to this channel right now.
So he does want some money. I'm sorry, he's on Locals? Oh my god. I didn't know this. Guys, Locals is the website made by Dave Rubin. It's a creator crowdfunding site co-founded by Dave Rubin and Asaf Lev. I have no idea who that is. He made this after Sargon of Akkad was banned from Patreon. Wow, that screams fraud. Holy shit. I had a larger segment about this planned for the Dave Rubin video, talking about the Locals website, and I canned it ultimately, because I didn't want to spend any money on it. Wow, it is all coming together. I have a Locals account. Let me see what I can find here. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, I'm logged in. See that I can text Zach on Locals. Look at that. I now follow Russell Brand. Do I have to give him money to see any of this shit? Oh, yep. 19 years, clean and sober. I don't buy it. I don't believe you're clean and sober. That is not the face of a sober man. Or a clean one, for that matter. I feel like I need to get a shower after watching that. I'm sorry. You joined our radical cult. Welcome to the cabal, the clique, the alliance. It's so great to have you here. Cult shit already.
Hello, look, it's me, Russell Brand. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry about this. This is where you will...
You should apologize for being Russell Brand, yes.
Find exclusive content from me at least 3 times a week. Please subscribe and follow me here for unusual, insightful, peculiar and bizarre takes on contemporary culture, news media, big business, the government. It will all be here for you. Thanks.
Guys, if you like my content and you want me to do more, you're gonna have to encourage me to do more. Because I don't know, the last year or so, I've not felt very I have not felt any motivation to make content. It's been pretty bad, especially since the whole library thing. But he's doing it 3 times a week. I can't do cocaine. I will die. That video was worthless. I hate you, Russell Brand. You should apologize for being Russell Brand and for the brain hemorrhage I have. I'm dead.
I love this channel. What I want you to do now is subscribe and turn on notifications.
Thank you to last month's patron backers: ASU Asian Woman, Benjamin Kessler, Boris Lowe, Dios, Ian Diaby, Here Comes the Rat, James Paul, Jai Palamo, Lionel, Mellow Cheddar, and Xylorp.